Hi there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome to IB History HL2. My name is Betsy Thornwood, and I will be your tour guide through the 20th and 21st centuries and world history in general. You can call me Miss Thornwood, Thornwood, or Thorns. Before I jump into the nitty-gritty of how to navigate this course through Canvas, I think it's only fair that you get to know a little bit about who I am, since I get to be part of your learning community for the next 9 months and sort of guide you along. So let's talk a little bit about me. First of all, my favorite subject of all, shocker of shocks, is history. I am a gigantic history nerd. I have a MA from Brandeis University in French medieval history, which comes up a lot in 20th century world history. You'd be surprised. But I was going to go on to get a PhD before I decided that that was not really the path that I was looking forward to. And so I hopped back from Boston to Portland and went to Lewis and Clark, student taught here at Sunset, and I've been here ever since for about 7 years now. In addition to teaching history and loving all things historical, I also have 3 crazy little boys running around at home, Edward, Chaos, and Hunter. They refer to you as the big kids, and they always love to hear stories of what mommy does at work and what the big kids are up to. So be prepared. Any fun things that happen in class will probably become stories for the boys later on. In addition, some quick tidbits. I prefer iced coffee to hot coffee. Star Trek is far superior to Star Wars. Marvel movies are pretty great, but DC comics are better. Sour Patch Kids are the best candies of all, and any historical meme will be a guaranteed way to make me happy, make my day. So please, any history memes you find, send them to me. I love them all. In addition to teaching IB History HL2, I also teach the junior year IB core class. Some of you took that last year, so you're a little used to this crazy person talking at you. If you're not, just ask them. They'll let you know I'm not totally insane. And then I also teach World History 10 from time to time when I'm needed there. So let's go back to IB History and talk about what our course homepage looks like. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I am in Canvas. My Canvas is set up to student view, so this should be exactly what you see when you log in. So let's try it out here. Aha, there we are. So when you log in, you will be greeted by a famous historian staring at you from a faux magic card. Bonus points if you can tell me what movie our famous historian is from. If you haven't seen it, very much recommend this movie. If you scroll down past our famous historian, you'll see a little course overview. This kind of gives you a breakdown of what we're going to be doing in this class together. Some important highlights. We're going to be looking at the years 1919 to 2020 with a special focus on geopolitics and how power shifts from Europe to the US. We are going to have some fairly America-specific units, but we also have some more broad topics to cover. Year 1, HL1, is primarily American-based, whereas HL2, our second year, is a little bit more comparative history or world-based. So we're going to have some America, but also have some multiple countries going on. We have 2 main essential questions guiding our study. The first one here is, to what extent is an ideological battle more deadly than a physical one? To what extent, if you can't guess by my acronym, is TWE or TWE. And then question number 2, in what ways and to what extent has the definition of American changed between 1919 and 2020? Some important information for you is that Canvas is going to be our primary mode of communication and our primary mode of assignment delivery. So it's really important that you check Canvas often. Each unit of study is going to get its own module that's accessible from this home page. Every time you log into Canvas, you will see this same page, and you'll just have to scroll down to the unit you are working on. The modules require you to work through them in order. You have to start with assignment number 1 or reading number 1, and then move on to 2, 3, 4, etc. If you try to jump around, you're going to get a locked message. If you believe that there is an assignment you can't access, it's locked to you, please read the screen. Canvas 9 times out of 10 will explain exactly what it is you need to do in order to access that activity. There's usually even a clickable link to get to the right spot. So first, just try reading the screen. If that doesn't work, go ahead and take a screenshot of the message you're getting that's telling you you're locked out of the assignment and share it with me, and I will try to troubleshoot from there for you. From course navigation, let's talk about the IB test. IB testing doesn't happen until May, but registration is going to be in October. So between now and October, we're going to be talking a little bit about, what the IB test is, why you should take it. Feel free to shoot me any questions you might have right now about the IB test, but just know that's coming. But if you're sort of itching and getting ready to study, you can click on the review pages that are linked there. Now, first semester, what's that all about? Semester 1 of this course is going to be looking at the political, economic, and military developments that have defined the first 50 years of the 20th century. We're going to be focusing on IB Paper 1 topic, Move to Global War, as well as parts of our Paper 2 topics, Authoritarian States and 20th Century Wars. Our first unit, we're going to be in Russia, talking about the Russian Revolution, good old Decembrists, Bolsheviks, the Reds versus the Whites, all that fun stuff. And we're really going to establish what is Leninism, what is Stalinism, and why is America so opposed to those ideas. From there, we're going to look at 1919. We're going to talk about how World War I, the war to end all wars, was concluded. And we're going to talk about whether or not the peace treaty actually set the world up for peace. Did they do a good job ending the war to end all wars? From there, we're going to jump into the interwar years, or the Age of Anxiety. We're going to be looking at the Age of Anxiety primarily through the lens of the League of Nations, the body that's created by the Treaty of Versailles to sort of keep the peace and ensure that the treaty is upheld. We're going to talk about how the League responds to issues and why that they might not be responding in the best way. And we're also going to talk about how the growing aggression in Europe of Italian fascists and German Nazis and the Japanese Imperial Army in Asia led to the outbreak of World War II, which is coincidentally our Unit 4. We're going to talk about the US primarily here, how the US really uses World War II to its political and economic advantage in order to elevate her status. We're also going to lay the groundwork for the eventual breakdown of the Grand Alliance between America, Great Britain, and Russia, and how World War II really sows the seeds of the Cold War. And then lastly, we're going to talk about Happy Days, the sort of 1950s baby boomer golden age of capitalism, where the world tries to return to normal and how effective normal is. That will be the end of our first semester together. And from there, we're going to launch into looking at Cold War and civil rights throughout the second semester. So guys, that was a whole lot of information all at once. You probably need to digest some of that. From here, what I'd like you to do is to jump into our community conversation page. And there's a couple prompts to get a conversation going so we can start to get to know each other. You can engage in the great debate, Star Wars versus Star Trek. Were the Beatles the greatest band ever? Hot coffee, iced coffee. There's a variety of conversations for you to engage in. This is really just sort of a way to start to get to know each other as we start our learning process. Anyway, that's all for right now. I will talk to you guys soon. Thornwood is out.